We photographers tend to like our gear. I've been accused of having too much equipment, whatever that means. Sure, I have a camera bag stuffed to overflowing, but there is a method to my madness. Let's talk about it. From the very beginning of my professional career, I've always gone to every job with two camera bodies. There are two main reasons for this. First, having different lenses on each camera allows me to have a wide and a telephoto available without needing to switch lenses. For example, I might have a 35mm and 85mm lenses mounted. No matter what I'm photographing, this versatility allows me to work more quickly and capture moments I might miss if I had to keep changing lenses. Second, having two cameras means I have an instant backup if something happens to one. This has saved me a couple of times. During one wedding reception, I was doing my thing, and when I pressed the shutter release, instead of hearing the expected click, I heard a kerchunk, and the camera stopped working altogether. I thought to myself, ooh, that's not good. Thankfully, I had another camera on my other shoulder, and I was able to keep going without missing a beat. Later, when I had a chance to examine the camera that stopped working, I took the lens off and the mirror fell right out. I sent it in for repair after the weekend and had it back the following weekend all fixed. Apparently, it was a thing with that model, the original Canon 5D, that the glue that held the mirror to whatever the mirror was affixed to would dry out and the mirror would fall off. This is 100% why I have two cameras not just with me, but on me at all times. While we're on the subject of cameras, it's my opinion that as a professional, you need a camera body that has two memory card slots. Sometimes those cards get corrupted, or I've known people to have dropped one somewhere before they had an opportunity to back it up. And it should go without saying that having a camera that holds two memory cards, please have a memory card in each slot. They won't do you any good if you're not using them. Set them up so the camera writes the same files to both cards. That way you have a backup right in the camera should something go wrong with one of them. I set up my camera so one card comes out of the camera to be backed up, while the other is a much higher capacity card that always stays in the camera. I can often get through most of a season without ever having to take that second card out of the camera or reformat it. So even if something happens to the files once I've downloaded them and reformatted the working card, I still have that in-camera safety net. The same goes for the lenses I carry. I have a collection of prime and zoom lenses that I use depending on the versatility I might need on a given day or for the look I want the images to have. If I want a shallow depth of field, I'll favor a faster lens, but if I need more reach, I'll opt for something more telephoto. I also have a belt pouch in which I carry a third lens that might be a focal length or aperture range one of the other two I have on my cameras doesn't have. Should something happen to one of those lenses, I have a camera bag full of others I can pull out to continue getting the job done. If my 85mm stops working, for example, I could use a 50 or a 100 depending on what I'm photographing at the moment. I have my old 35mm prime lens in my bag and a 70-200 ready to go if I need either of those too. Why have all those lenses? I've been doing this long enough that I've dropped a couple in my day. When it happens, your heart stops for a minute as you feel it slip out of your hand and fall in slow motion, hopefully onto grass where nature has provided a cushion. On cement or asphalt, though, nope, that lens isn't working anymore that day, and you reach into your bag for another that will help you finish the job. And what about flashes? In my camera bag, in addition to the bodies and lenses, I have 6 speedlights. I never saw the need to upgrade from the 600EX RTs. Those things are rock solid and just work. When those break, I go on eBay and find used versions. There's no way I'm paying $1,000 for an EL1, especially when I need 6 of them. The EL5 looked promising until I realized that the bells and whistles they put into it don't work with the R5, which is still a current camera, so thanks for that, Canon. I mentioned in a previous video that using an umbrella outdoors is a recipe for having to pick up tiny flash parts when it eventually gets blown over. These days I generally use strobes and a softbox for outdoor portraits because of the increased power and recycle times. But sometimes a smaller light is all you need or all you can fit into a tight spot. I've had my share of speedlights fall in and break over the years, so in addition to using them as multiple off-camera lights, I have 1 or 2 that exist solely as backups. This extends to my larger lighting kit too. I have a bunch of Godox gear that I've set up to be modular, but also have the smaller lights, when ganged up together, work as a larger light source, either as a secondary big light or as a backup to the big one. When your $900 AD600 Pro is on uneven ground and the legs of the light stand aren't positioned to create a properly balanced center of gravity, seeing that hit the ground makes you do the math about how much you have in your bank account and how quickly you might be able to replace it. Thankfully, when this happened to me, it was on grass and the softbox absorbed the brunt of the fall, so all was well. But man, did my heart jump into my throat as I watched that thing fall over. All that to say, if the light broke, I could have put 2 AD200s together to act as a larger light if I needed them to. What else do I have backups of? Batteries for sure. Lots and lots of batteries. And memory cards. You can't do anything if you don't have power or disk space. I know photographers who bring a backup set of clothes with them. Sometimes it's a really hot day, and if you've been outside in a New England summer, you might not want to head into a reception having sweated through whatever it is you're wearing. Also, too, sometimes you accidentally split your pants, but that'll be a story I save for an embarrassing moments video. I even have a backup for myself. I often have a second photographer with me at weddings, and I try to bring people along whom I would trust to take over as primary should something happen to me. I do shoot solo quite a bit, both for weddings and almost always for commercial work, but I do feel better on wedding days when I have a trusted second by my side. The only thing I don't have a backup for is my car. I do try to leave early for each wedding or photo shoot to account for traffic or other unforeseen obstacles, but also in case I need to call someone, maybe an Uber, to drive me from where I might have broken down to where I need to be. Thankfully, this has never happened to me, but it is an unpredictable event I have in my head that might someday need addressing. Having contingencies in place and backups for everything is all in service of getting the job done for my clients. I've said it before, if someone is paying you to do a job, you have to get that job done no matter what. Unexpected things happen, and this is all about putting my best foot forward. This mindset also extends to how I handle the photos once they're on my computer. Someday I'll do a video about how I organize and back up my files, but for today I hope this gives some insight into how I organize and prepare for weddings, engagement sessions, and other photo shoots. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate your taking the time to listen. Do you have any tips of your own for day of backups, or is there anything else I can address on the topic? Feel free to make suggestions in the comments below. If you'd like to see more videos like this one with more stories, check out this other one I made for you. This is Ask a Wedding Photographer. I'm Seth Kaye, and I'm here to help.